Hey guys, Daniel here with Interval Music, and today we're going to learn a simple way to play 24 chords on the piano. So if you're new at piano or music in general, you may be asking, what is a chord? And it's pretty simple. All it is 3 notes played at the same time. Okay, so these 3 notes are making a chord. So if you watched my last video, you would have seen that there are 12 different kinds of notes, or 12 different notes on the piano. And with these 12 notes, we're going to create chords. And the type of chord that we're creating is called a triad. What a triad is basically the most basic form of a chord. And each chord, or each note, has its own major triad, and each note has its own minor triad. So there's 12 notes, meaning there's 12 major triads and 12 minor triads. So if I play a C chord, for example, this first note, which is a C, which my thumb is on, would be the 1, so because each note has its number, so this is going to be the 1, this is going to be the 3rd, and this note is going to be the 5th. Okay? So this, for example, this C major chord, the 1 is the one that the chord is named after. Okay, so C. The 3rd is the note that's defining the chord, and the 5th is the one that completes the chord. Okay, so here's a C major chord. And what do I mean by the 3rd defines a chord? Well, if I was to move this 3rd, this E right here, 1/2 step lower, so if I moved it over to E flat, 1 note lower, it would change the definition of the chord from C major to C minor. So first off, to create a chord, we want to find out what kind of chord we want to make. So we're going to find what note are we making the chord with, and do we want to play a major chord or a minor chord. So let's start with F, for example. So here's an F. And now I'm going to teach you how to create a chord with F. So do we want to create a major chord or a minor chord? So for starters, I guess we'll create a major chord. Okay, so here's the note F. And all we're going to do is we're going to count from F to 4, and then we're going to count to 3. So here's F right here. And we're not going to skip any notes on the piano, okay? So we are going right, so we're going up, higher notes. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay? And then from here we're going to jump 1, 2, 3. Okay? And that is how you create an F major chord. You can do this with all 12 notes. So let me just show you another example. Let's start with a black note. So let's start with B flat. So here's a B flat right here. Okay? So we found B flat. Do we want to create a major chord, minor chord? Let's stick with major for now. Okay, so here's B flat. We're going to jump 4. So I'm just going to switch hands real quick. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so that's a D. And then from here we're going to jump 3. So 1, 2, 3. That's an F. Okay? So these 3 notes, B flat, D, F, are going to create a B flat major chord. And the awesome thing is you can start with any note on the piano. Like I said before, there are 12 notes. You find that note, you jump 4, you jump 3, and you're able to create any major chord you want. And to learn minor, not much harder. So let's do a minor one. Let's start with E flat. Here's an E flat. Okay. To create a minor chord, it's not that different from a major chord. It's actually just switched around. So we're going to count to 3 first, and then we're going to count to 4. So here's E flat. From here we're going 1, 2, 3. Okay? And then from here we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. And there's your minor chord. Okay? If you were to look at the difference between an E flat major chord and an E flat minor chord, the only note that's actually moving is this middle note right here. So this middle note is actually the very note that's defining the chord to be major or minor. So let me just show you real quick. If I were to count again with major, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Okay, we could see that those 2 outer notes, E flat and B flat, are exactly the same. The only difference is that middle note, instead of being on this G flat, it moves over to this G for that major chord. Okay, so here's minor. You see that it sounds a lot you could describe as sad or scary or melancholy, and this could be, I guess you could say, happy. Okay, so that kind of gives you the difference of sound of a major chord and a minor chord. So let's do one more minor chord. Let's do a white note. Let's see. Let's go ahead and do G minor. So here's a G. Okay, so same exact thing. We're going to count to 3 and then we're going to count to 4. So 1, 2, 3. And then we got 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, there's a G minor chord. If I wanted to create a G major chord without counting all over again, we know the only note that's changing is that middle note. So all you got to do is, if you're playing major, we're just going to raise that note. Okay, so here's major, and then right here would be minor. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Hope you learned something. Feel free to wait, I feel like there's an elephant in the room. Oh my gosh. Anyways, feel free to subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.